Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about a spiritual teaching that I heard about 2 years ago, and it really changed my life. It really changed my outlook on life and just helped me make my life a more peaceful and harmonious place. And if you are enjoying my content and if you're interested in what I'm saying, it would really make me super happy if you would subscribe or like, or you know, it would just really make me happy. So this teaching, I heard it about 2 years ago at I was at a Buddhist centre, and the teacher just said it, and I'm just going to go ahead, I've written it down because I don't want to say it wrong. But it goes: the suffering, pain or sadness that you're experiencing is caused by the unpleasant feelings arising from the situation and not the situation itself. So the problem and the thing that is causing you suffering is the unpleasant feeling that you're having. It's not the situation. So say you're going through something in your life, and it might be something really tiny, like, I don't know, you've fallen out with someone and you feel really upset about it. The problem is not, the thing that's causing you suffering is not the fact that you've fallen out with someone, it's the fact that you feel upset about it. The problem is the feeling that you've got. So if we could change our outlook and we perceive the situation in a different way, then we could prevent that suffering from happening in the first place. And we could find that something more harmonious and a more peaceful outlook on the thing, then we wouldn't have that unpleasant feeling and we wouldn't have the suffering caused by it, if that makes sense. So nothing is intrinsically bad. The situation that you're experiencing is not intrinsically bad. We all look at things and label things as good and bad, and if we label a situation as bad and we think we don't like this situation, then an unpleasant feeling arises within us, whether, I don't know, some kind of negative emotion like jealousy, insecurity, unhappiness, anxiety, all these things we don't want to feel, is because we're labeling a situation as bad and we're projecting our idea of the situation onto it. But the situation itself is not what's causing suffering. The suffering is coming from within. And that's really important, that you know that it's your emotions and your feelings that are making you feel a certain way. It's not whatever's going on externally. Like, that could be a catalyst, but we have to remember that, to overcome this suffering, we have to realise that we are in control of our emotions, and that our emotions come from within, and we can choose how we react to situations. And the more self-aware we are, and as we grow and become more aware of how we're reacting and how our emotions are, the more we can come to terms with them and develop more peaceful and compassionate states of mind, because then we can react to situations with a strong mind and with a compassionate mind. So I'm going to give an example of this just so it's clear, because and I'm going to give one of my own life. But when I first heard this teaching, it was about 2 years ago. Like I said, I was at my local Buddhist centre, and I was in a really bad mood, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's a pretty pathetic story, and I might sound a bit, I don't know, a bit weird, but it was 2 years ago and I'm not really embarrassed about it, although I've kind of grown from this person that I was back then. And I was in a really bad mood because there was a girl that I didn't really get along with, and she was hanging out with somebody who I had feelings for. And I know it sounds stupid, but it was ages ago, so I'm not really embarrassed about it. And I was really irritated. I had these negative, toxic emotions, and they were kind of making me feel really heavy. They were dragging me down, and I was feeling, I was having these unpleasant emotions. And then my teacher, Varahi, she said this teaching and she explained it to us, and because we'd been meditating for 30 minutes, I was already in quite a peaceful state of mind. And I had a very profound moment, and I realised that the problem, the thing that was causing me suffering and making me feel so down, was coming from within me. It wasn't because of the situation that was going on. And I was able to switch and let go of these toxic and kind of selfish emotions, the jealousy and the insecurity that I was feeling. I could switch it and instead focus on, seeing the situation with a compassionate mindset and with a peaceful mindset, rather than, you know, worrying and, I don't know, having these toxic emotions that were weighing me down, because it wasn't the situation that was causing me suffering, it was my reaction to it. But if I could switch my reaction to it, then I was happy, and I could look at the situation and be glad that they were happy and have a loving mindset towards it and look at them and say, yeah, this is good, like, they're happy, they're spending time together, you know, as opposed to thinking about myself and holding on to these negative states of mind that really don't serve us at all. Like, they're not beneficial to be jealous, and, you know, it is hard though, and you should never make yourself feel guilty for having these negative emotions. Like, it's not the fault of the situation, and although it comes from within us and these negative emotions come from within us, they're not our fault either. It just is what it is, and it happens. But if we see every situation, whether it be like a challenging situation or not, if we see them all as an opportunity to grow and to develop ourselves as humans and to develop these peaceful states and compassionate states of mind, then, you know, we can grow and we can develop and we can react to things in a peaceful way and be self-aware and know, you know, what we're doing, know how our mind is working and work with it. So I think it's worth noting, and I might have mentioned this in a video I did about Zen Buddhism, but it's worth noting that, you know, a lot of our suffering and these negative emotions come from us wishing that things were different from how they are, you know, our attachment to our desires and saying, oh, I wish that, you know, she didn't say that about me, and I wish that, you know, I don't know, whatever we're wishing for in our these little things that happen in our lives that we take very seriously, and we get attached to these ideas of good and bad, and we think, oh, I just wish that, you know, I was still friends with this person because that would be good. But it's not, like, that situation is not an intrinsically good or bad thing. It's about your outlook on it, and that your outlook is based on your wants and desires. You know, if you want something to happen and it doesn't happen, that's going to make you have an unpleasant feeling, which is going to cause you suffering. But if, you know, if you could change your outlook on it and you could approach the situation with a peaceful mind, then you could let go, you can transcend the attachments that you've got, your desires, and find a peaceful state of mind, you know, without trying to control external conditions. So that's another thing that is really important, because we have these attachments and desires of what we want and we don't want, and when things don't happen how we want them to, it causes the unpleasant feeling, which comes from within us. And we spend our whole lives trying to control these external situations and what's going on in our lives, all the little things, little friendships, relationships, everything. We try and control them all, but we can't do that, you know, these things are going to happen. But what we can do is be self-aware of our reaction to these things and aware of the emotions that we're having. And, you know, it's the same with emotions. There's no such thing as good and bad emotion. But there is emotion that's going to weigh you down, and it's a negative state of mind that you don't want to have, and you can get rid of it. But don't make yourself feel guilty for having them, because, you know, everyone has them. And no one's perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Like, everyone has these negative states of emotion that they maybe don't want to have. And as long as you grow and you learn from situations, then it's completely fine, you know. We can approach, you know, if we do become more aware of our emotions and we become more mindful, and meditation is really good for this because it helps you develop a peaceful state of mind, then you can approach life in a much more peaceful way, and it will be more harmonious and enjoyable for you and for everyone around you, because you're not holding on to your desires, and you know that your suffering and your happiness comes from within. It's not something that you can control with external material things. And it does sound cliche, but I can't even say it, but happiness comes from within, you know, it does. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say, but it's just remember that you don't need to go around changing your external conditions, and you don't need to, the situation doesn't need to be perfect. The thing that is causing suffering is the unpleasant feeling arising from the situation, which is based on your reaction to it. You know, your happiness or your unhappiness, it comes from within. It's not coming from these external conditions. But yeah, I would just say, you know, advice, just try and be mindful and try and think about this. And yeah, meditate. Because it's really helpful, and you know, the more we're aware and the more we can know this, it's easy to just have peaceful and compassionate states of mind the more we develop and the more we grow. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. As always, my DMs, my Facebook is always open, my Instagram is linked in my bio, and you know, chat to me, because I like talking about things like this, and I like meeting new people. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a nice day.